All of these things are bad in isolation, but they get so much worse when we understand that this is part of a wider effort by radical Islam, not all Muslims, but a radical Islamic movement, to use American leftists as useful idiots. This movement doesn't care about Palestinians. The brutal fact is that Palestinian civilians are pawns used and abused by radical Islamic groups whenever they need a PR cycle. Their own leaders live in luxury, taking millions of dollars for themselves and spending the rest on trying to kill Jews. They keep their own people in a state of poverty and indoctrinate them to keep the image of the evil Jew alive. Why bother asking why Palestinian leaders are all millionaires? Or the fact that no Muslim country wants the Palestinians either? Or why bomb shelters are being used to store weapons instead of saving people when you can just blame the Jews every time? Just like knives, guns, and rockets, ignorance is a weapon. It's a weapon in Gaza, but it's a weapon in the West. The fact that you have supposed feminists cheering for the rape of Jewish women and girls tells you everything you need to know. You either believe that women are equal and are therefore not sex objects to be used and thrown out like garbage, or you don't. There's no middle ground here. Not only that, every non-Muslim person in the streets cheering what Hamas are doing in Israel wouldn't last a second if they woke up in Gaza tomorrow. These stupid white women screaming about terrorism and resistance and justice, they'd be raped and killed too. Now, I'm not saying you have to support Israel's government or any of their policies or their policies when it comes to Gaza and other Palestinian areas. This honestly isn't even about that. It's about how Western values have been hijacked by radical Islam merging with American leftism. And the knee-jerk reaction here is obviously going to be to accuse me of being a white supremacist or a racist, but this has nothing to do with race or skin color or even religion. It has everything to do with values. America is full of patriotic people who love their country. And this includes white people, black people, Asian people, Hispanic people, Christians, Jews, Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, and every other category we love to divide ourselves with. But there are a growing number of people who don't love this country, who don't love the West, and hate our values, who will happily use our tolerance against us. Multiculturalism works when we're talking about food or clothes or accents. It doesn't work when we're talking about murder and rape. Through our refusal to talk about issues like immigration and culture and values honestly, we've opened our doors to people who cheer on the murder and rape of children because they're Jews. And intersectionality and multiculturalism and a fear of being called racist has such a strong hold over people that even now, people are afraid to speak the truth. Again, this isn't about Islam. There are countless Muslims condemning groups like Hamas right now. This is about our society's collective naivety, weakness, and stupidity that is being seen as an open door by people who want to use us as useful idiots to do their bidding. White women waving Palestinian flags and cheering for the rape of Jews is really like a group of lambs cheering as a butcher slaughters another lamb who looks a bit different. They're too stupid to know that when he's done with that lamb, they're all next. What's going on in Israel is appalling. It might seem like a hell far away, but it's way closer than you think. If we allow ourselves to commit cultural suicide by continuing to ignore the obvious problems with multiculturalism, open immigration, and the embrace of cultures that despise Western values, then soon enough we'll have nothing to fight for. If history has taught us anything, it's that anything that starts with Jews doesn't end with Jews.